give it another 20 years, and literally no young person will be able to afford to purchase a home, period.
It's a lot harder for young people today to save up for markers of the American dream than it was for previous generations.
Millennials' net worth quadrupled from $3.9 trillion to nearly $16 trillion between 2019 and 2024. But more than half report living paycheck to paycheck.
You see, I'm going to say something now, guys, that's going to be a hot take. I already know in the comment section, people are just going to destroy me. They're not going to be happy with what I'm going to say. And I'm fine with that. But guys, a home is not an investment. Okay? Let's stop this. Let's stop the shenanigans. A home is not an investment. So many people doing whatever it takes to get into a home that's overpriced, and then they end up being house poor. Then there's repairs that need to get made in the house. They can't do it. Then there's remodeling they want to do. They can't do it. Then they're falling behind on property taxes. There's so much that's involved with getting a home that people need to stop believing that having a home is an investment. A home is not an investment. A home is a lifestyle. If you have the money for it, by all means, go for it. But just thinking that a home is an investment, guys, it's not. Look at the video, what they stated. Look at the jump in the net worth, right, by the millennials. That was a huge jump. And the majority of them don't own homes. You see, there's plenty of ways, guys, to build wealth. It's not strictly just, trying to get into a house, because your money because everything is tied into the house, right? All your equity is tied into the house, and you can't get it until you sell it. And every year, all you're doing is you're paying so much money to not allow your house to disintegrate and get into earth, because that's really what your house is doing. It's rotting, it's rotting in, day out. You're fighting against it. You're trying to keep it in prestige shape. And all that money you're spending, right, to just keep it, to hold its value, is not worth it. Right? You don't have to pay a maintenance fee and property taxes and insurance for stocks, right? You don't, right? Or index fund or ETFs, you don't. There's plenty of ways, guys, you could actually invest and build wealth, as they're saying right there. But I just wanted to say that. I want to get that out, because people keep on thinking a house is a true investment, and it's not. It really is not a true investment. Unless you have the money. If you have the money and you want that lifestyle, by all means, it's an awesome thing to do. But it's just a house. Remember that. Let's keep on watching.
It's not the overspending, it's the cost of living.
Just thinking about all of the headwinds that a 30-year-old may have, like student loan debt and car loans and credit card debt, and then they have rising rent.
You have a lot of people 25 to 34 who are looking to start a family and cannot find a home.
Now, that is a big, big issue. It truly is a big issue. It's just the cost of living, and everyone that went to college, have student loans, or they're using credit cards, and are just stuck with so much debt that they don't have the flexibility to do the things that they want. You see, most people can actually buy a home. They can. But the problem is either the debt to income ratio is way too high, so they can't afford to get a home, or they're stuck paying all these student loans and they're throwing the money out the window to pay off all their past mistakes, their past debt, and now they don't have the ability to get a home. See, that's the true issue right there on hand. It's the cost of living is just really, really expensive. A lot of people right now just don't have the funds because just living is hard enough. And yes, I understand what people are going to say, rent is going up too. And it's like you're throwing money out the window. You're not throwing money out, you're not throwing money away, okay? Renting, guys, is not a bad thing. Only if you do it strategically. If you're living in an apartment and you're saving and you're investing and you're trying to, clean up your credit, and then you're also trying to start maybe a side hustle, or, you want to move to another city that might pay more, that is a strategic way to rent. Now, renting for your whole life, I don't want to see people do that. No. But strategic renting is a thing. You're not throwing money out the window. Don't let that fake crap that people keep on telling you to make you want to get a house. Just don't. Just understand, renting, guys, you're not an idiot for renting. You're not throwing money away. You're being really smart and really strategic, and you have the ability to make the moves as necessary to put you in a position to build wealth. As you saw at the beginning of the video, guys, right now, the millennial, we're making so much money without a house. So we're figuring it out. Right? We're figuring it out, but we just need to make sure consumerism is not destroying us, which majority of people are. They cave into that. They want to buy all these things. They want to go shopping. They want to do everything. They don't have the ability to say no. And that's one of the most important things, having the ability to say no and being patient, which a lot of people lack.
We're actually projecting that about 1 in 4 young adults today will never have kids.
Those are people who helped elect the president, who want stable jobs, who want rising wages, who want to be able to do things for their family that they don't feel they can do now.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really unfortunate, is a lot of these families, man, that's the hard part. I ain't gonna lie. Because when when I started my family, we lived in an apartment, and I'm like, man, I want to get a house. But I didn't do it the stupid way. I didn't just jump in and buy a house. But it is kind of tough when you're starting a family and you're living in an apartment, especially a small apartment. But as I said, strategic renting is what you need to do. If you know that you're just doing this temporarily because you're trying to save for a house, trying to clean up your credit, or whatever the case may be, then it's fine. But there is a lot of people now that are like, yo, I don't even want to have kids because it's hard enough to even survive. And they're seeing what they're going up against, and they don't even want to have kids. They do not even want to have kids because they feel like this is going to hold their future back. You guys let me know how you feel about that. Do you feel like a lot of decisions that you're making or you see your friends making with having kids is based upon the fact of how expensive it is to buy a house, or even just the fact that cost of living is just so high? Drop a comment down below, guys, because I would love to hear it. Let's keep on watching.
We're living in two separate economies. The American dream that was pitched to the Gen Xers and the Boomers is no longer present in today's world.
Starter homes are disappearing from the United States. In the early 1980s, as many as 40% of the new homes built were considered entry-level. By 2023, just 9% fit the criteria.
Give it another 20 years, and literally no young person will be able to afford to purchase a home, period.
Now, that is the number one problem, if you ask me, is the fact that there is no starter homes. You see, a lot of times, a lot of people compare themselves to boomers. Like, oh, for you back in days, it was easy. But man, look at the size of the houses that we grew up in, right? I mean, I grew up in a townhouse, but a lot of people grew up in houses that are not the size that they have in their homes now. People, for a starter home having, say, for example, 1,200 square feet, people will look at that and be like, hell no. I want a pool. I want 4 bedrooms. I want all of this in the house. So you want a bigger house and you can't afford it. So a lot of these homes that are being built now is bigger homes. Bigger homes a lot of people cannot afford. But back in days, that he is right. The starter homes was always available. It was always available. Something a little bigger than apartments, a little more spacious, something you could call your own. But that's gone. There is no more starter homes. So that's why it's hard enough for people to get a house, because you're not going from apartment living, right, or graduating college or even high school, whatever, to living on your own, and then, saving up some money and buying yourself a starter home for like $100,000, $150,000, that might need some love. That's out the window. You're jumping into the big leagues. You're jumping into homes that, have been appreciated so much. They're bigger than areas that everyone sorts out, wants to live in. You're competing with that, and let's not front. You're also dealing with private equity firms buying everything up. They have the cash. They have the power to just buy everything up, and you cannot compete with that. So it's not the fact that the boomers had it easier. It's the opportunities was certainly there for the boomers to buy a house that, that they could afford at that time, and they weren't being all extravagant. And it was a starter home. We could just do a little remodeling, give it a little love. Because I don't know about you guys, but my home that I grew up in, my parents had to do so much of the maintenance themselves. It felt like every few months something was breaking. But that was part of, living in a starter home. We don't have that anymore at all. I mean, you guys can drop a comment down below and let me know in your area if you have starter homes. But to me, that is completely gone.
Meanwhile, a slowdown is mounting in the home building industry, which could contribute to the ongoing decline of the starter home.
Both housing starts and building permits, which are an indicator of future construction, have slowed down this fall, and it's not just seasonal.
There are over 3 million potential first-time home buyers in the country. They're up against high home prices that keep rising.
What you're starting to see are mini price bubblets in markets that are an hour, 2 to 3 hours from major metropolitan cities.
It is such an unusual market because we have an all-time low of first-time home buyers, but an all-time high of all cash buyers.
See, there it is. It's the cash buyers. If you ask me, they're the ones that are ruining it. Not just the regular standard person who's saving up for the cash. I'm talking about these conglomerates, these private equity firms that are coming in to buy the property straight cash. That is one of the hardest things that people have to face now, especially when they're trying to get a house. It's really hard to compete with someone if you're coming with an FHA loan, putting 3.5% or 3% down, and asking and willing to pay just that asking price. When someone's coming in with cash is hard to turn down. Now I would say this before I end this video. A lot of people always say the American dream is to get a house, this and that. You know what though, guys? That the American dream is our old dream. But there is other dreams as well that we have that other generations didn't have, especially with the internet, starting our own business, saving, investing. We have all this knowledge to build wealth, that having a home is not the only thing that's quote unquote American dream. The American dream is taking advantage of opportunities that's there. There's a lot of things that we could do to build wealth now. That is the American dream. If you want to be honest, to me, the American dream is having the time freedom and the financial freedom to do whatever it is that you want. And right now, during these times, we have so many opportunities, so many avenues just to do that. Problem is, though, a lot of people are either lazy or they just don't want to put in the work to hit that level. But we all have the opportunity to become financially free, start that business, do whatever we want. We all have that flexibility. You could have a 9-to-5. After work, you can start doing your side hustle. There's so many opportunities. And to me, that is a true American dream, that everything is possible. Not just one thing, which is buying a house. Everything and anything is possible. But guys, drop a comment down below and let me know how you feel about the housing market. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, for those that hate me for my comment I said in the beginning that a house is not an investment, I don't know what to tell you. But go ahead. You can drop a comment as well. Catch you guys in my next video. Peace.